Good morning from Trey Mountain Shelter and the rainstorm thereupon. We had rain all night last night. I think we all mostly slept dry. Gavin and I did anyway. Some of the others had tents and there are different issues with those, but we're going to try to do 11 miles today. We're headed to, what gap is it that we're going to, bud? Dix Creek Gap, and we will be headed to the hostel Around the Bend tonight, so we're looking forward to that. Hopefully our terrain will be easier today than it was yesterday, because boy, those last 3 miles were up. I think it's going to be up and down and up and down and up and down today rather than just a steady up. So we'll pray that the rain will hold off a little bit. We'll be able to get where we're going quickly, and we'll be indoors for the next 2 nights. We'll see you out there. Well, we're trying something completely different today. It's not actively raining, but I know it's gonna. Excuse me. So I've got the umbrella tied on. It's not perfect yet. This is the first time I've actually ever used it. I can't believe I didn't try this out before I left home. But trying to get it to where it doesn't limit my forward view. I can see straight ahead, but if the trail goes up, I can't see it. So it'll be a process of adjustment. Thankfully, right now, the trail's wide enough that I'm not catching stuff on either side. And I think it's going to be a nice addition to the gear, but we're still sorting things out this morning. So we've got 11 miles to hike today to Dix Creek Gap. Hostel tonight, 0 tomorrow. And we're looking forward to that. So far, the trail has been great. I know it's going to be ups and downs today, not a long sustained 3 mile up like we had yesterday. I think we're doing, 200 or 300, 500 feet at the time today, up and down and up and down. So as long as there's some breaks between the ups, we'll slip there. I'll be good. Not a whole lot to see today, except for trail and rain. So this will possibly be a shorter video, although I'll try to take some video when we make it to the hostel. We're kind of going point to point today, or at least that's my mindset. There's a shelter a little over halfway. I think it's about 7 or 8 miles in, maybe not quite. And we can get there and regroup a little bit. Right now the umbrella is doing fine, as long as I don't have to see an uphill, because here's what I'm seeing from the umbrella. Well, you can't really tell, but the umbrella blocks my view of the uphill. I did stop and readjust it, and it's working well. It just kind of limits my view ahead, but we'll keep playing with it. We'll get it sorted out. Well, still hiking in the, I don't know, it's not really raining, it's drizzly, it's falling off the trees. The umbrella helps a lot, but it's also limited my views when I'm going uphill. I'll pop in a picture here of the trail today. You can see that it's not nearly as steep as yesterday's. So I've been doing it up. I think I've peaked it, and hopefully I'll be bopping along for a little bit. Eventually I've got another climb, but it's not gonna be nearly as bad as the one yesterday. So I'm gonna keep going along. I'm about 3 miles from the shelter where I was gonna stop and have lunch, so I'm pretty happy about that. And we'll check in at least when we get there, if not before. We've come to Addis Gap this morning, and just kind of plowing along. It's not actually raining most of the time. Sometimes it is, but I'm reminded of one of the sayings of the trail: embrace the suck. And it could be a lot worse out here today. I try to keep a positive attitude. It's probably 50 degrees, maybe more, I don't know. But at least it's not 27. And we're making decent time. Hawkeye's somewhere behind me. I'll stop at the shelter for him here a little bit. Not too far. Wow, talk about surprises. I just finished the top of the climb that I was on, and I didn't realize it, but this is Kelly Knob, and this is the climb of the day. This is the big one, and I just finished it. I've been plodding along. I wish it would not be so boring for you to watch me, walk for a little while and see how my pace changes. When I'm on the flat, I really step out and walk pretty quickly. But boy, when I'm on the uphills, I really shorten up my stride, and I really slow down my pace to it's just a crawl. It's almost a heel to toe kind of a deal that I've been plodding for the last mile or so trying to get up this mountain. And I was thinking I had another big climb after this, and I've got a small climb, but I'm 0.9 now from the shelter that we were going to stop and eat lunch at. And I do think I'm going to go ahead and get there. I'm going to stand here for a little bit. I've got my pack off just resting because it's been a slog. At the moment, it's not raining. It's nasty. It's socked in. You can tell that. No views at all. But I'm glad to be at the top of this climb, and I was even more ecstatic when I looked at my map and realized this is the climb of the day and I'm done with it. So score one for me. That makes me really happy because we've got 0.9 down to the shelter, and then we've got a short climb for about a mile, and then it's the rest of the way downhill into the gap for being indoors tonight. So awesome. I'm 6 miles from where I started. We've got a little bit around 5 to go, but in theory, that 5 that we've got to go won't be too terribly bad. So we'll see what happens. I'll check in with you in a little bit. All right, so we made the climb. We made the 1 mile down, and we actually just kind of stopped right over here at these logs and had some lunch, and went down and filled our water bottles. So we got, what, 3.5, I think it is now?
I think so.
We've got to climb, and then maybe the rest of the way downhill. Peter just caught up to us. Yeah. So that's good. He said Jeff's behind us too, so we're all going in tonight. So we'll check in a little bit. I'll stop to take a breather on this climb out of Deep Gap. I think that was the name of it. Hawkeye's on up there a little bit. He's doing well. We're both doing better on this climb because we just stopped and ate and had some water and we're refreshed. So maybe that's a lesson for me to learn, is to stop and eat before I start trying to tackle any kind of a crazy climb. But we're almost to the top of this one, and then it's downhill to, well, this is a neat way to end up our hike, coming down through this mountain laurel thicket. That last little bit, it's talking about having a downhill. Wow, what a downhill. That's harder on the knees than going uphill. It's a little faster coming downhill, but it hurts a lot more. So we're about to get to Dix Creek Gap and head over to the hostel for the night and tomorrow. At least I think so. This seems to be the longest half mile in the history of the Appalachian Trail, but I know we're still doing the right thing. Still moving on the trail. I just thought we'd be there by now. But it won't be long. I hear cars moving, so we're about to get to a road crossing. Well, we've made it to Dix Creek Gap. Just actually had enough service to call into the hostel, and they're going to send us a shuttle for this last 0.6, which is awesome because we are really tired from coming down off of that last climb. That was a tough downhill. I haven't looked ahead. I'm afraid we're going to have a tough uphill going out in a couple of days, but I'm not worried about that right now because that's not now.